All right, Pisces, you are my last read for the April 2026 zodiac signs. If you haven't met me before, hi, I'm Rebecca, Empathic Crow. I have the light in my face right now. um, yeah, a lot of them have been pretty intense, so we will see what's going on for you. Well, I say a lot of them. I know at least Scorpio through you, Pisces, because I recorded some of the others on Friday and today's Sunday. So I'm trying to decide if I start with the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane or the Light Seers Tarot, which is Chrisanne. I'm feeling Light Seers, so we're going to start there. This is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You may not like that. Use your intuition, but also use your discernment, or trust your intuition and use your discernment. I know those are phrases people probably get tired of, but at the same time, I feel like it's just responsible to say it. You probably already know it. But it can be really easy to relate to some pieces of a message, 111 on the clock. And if you do, that's okay. Take it and think about it and see how you feel it relates to you, or maybe it sparks a thought about something that has been on your mind. But if it doesn't fit, as one of the readers that I love to watch, Witch and Scythe, says, what does she say? Shoot, all of a sudden I say her name and then it went out. Don't try to force it. There we go. Don't try to force it. So Pisces, what is going on for you? My card's upside down in my hand. They were upside down. So let's see what we've got going on for you right now, Pisces. Well, you've got the King of Cups, that big fish right there. But he's looking pretty zen. He's got a fish necklace on. Like, Pisces, this is you. The King of Cups. He's sitting above the water. So he's not like the Queen of Cups where she's sitting in the water and she's still zen. He's sitting above it and he's just relaxed, where she's kind of in kind of a Reiki pose is the way I see it. There's something I've not noticed before, that ring on his middle finger of his right hand. I don't know why that's sticking out to me, but we will see if that kind of brings anything up for me at some point. It looks like he's got some garnet on and there's a lot of red in here. So I feel like root chakra is very important for you right now, Pisces. So if you're not feeling grounded, I feel like this is calling you to make sure you're grounding yourself. Let's see, he's touching the cup in front of him. And the water's kind of swirling around the cup. And then there's a starfish right under his hand. It almost looks like it's reaching up to him. Not sure what that means right now, just kind of looking at the card because I haven't looked at these cards yet. And the water's dark around him, whereas like in front of him, actually by the cup, the water's dark. And then he's like in the Zen mode and he actually has kind of like a glow or halo up above him. So it almost feels like you've had this swirl of emotions, but you're kind of pulling back from it, or you're trying to pull back from it. If you're not, you're definitely being called to pull back from it. You're being called to ground yourself and get calm. We've got the Ace of Swords. So I feel like that energy has happened and you're trying to ground yourself and clear out the crap is what I'm hearing. Like clear out the crap. Clear out the crap that in your mind from whatever it was that caused like this whirlpool of emotions. Because with the cup and his finger being on it and he's touching, it was like the way it felt is kind of like, all right, I'm putting these in here. Like I'm putting these emotions in this cup and I am releasing it. That's what this felt like. So I feel like this is where, instead of allowing yourself to get into a spiral, you're creating consistency is what I'm hearing, and clarity so that you can see the light. So here before, and this may be leading up to before April, it's felt like the emotions were all over the place, and you're like, no, we're not continuing in that energy. We're going to clean up the crap. Like these stairs, it's like you're preparing. These stairs are leading somewhere, and you're kind of preparing for what that may be. That's the way it's feeling. Both of these cards, though, in a little bit of a different energy, it's this unbothered. So whether you're feeling unbothered right now or you want to feel unbothered, I feel like that's where we're wanting to go. The Eight of Pentacles. So with this card, what I love about this Eight of Pentacles in the Chris Ann deck, the Light Seers Tarot, is that it has a lot of like Zen type stuff. Getting calm. Because when we're building something, there are going to be a lot of emotions that come in, but we have to try to calm and ground ourselves so that we can manifest it. This is a little similar to the Aquarius reading, Pisces. But yeah, my lighting in here is so not good. With this card, I mean, we've got some herbs, we've got some candles, a plant. She's got a green candle in her hand, very heart chakra. Her clothing is black. So I see her kind of grounding herself, but also working on getting herself in a space that's calmer so that she can be more productive with what she's doing. Like when you're feeling calmer, when you're getting into the space, you're clearing the emotions, you're pushing, like I said, it feels like he's kind of like putting them in the cup or pushing the cup away because there is movement in the water around the cup. And you're getting yourself clear-headed, which is this Ace of Swords, or Queen of Swords, excuse me. No, Ace of Swords. This Ace of Swords. So you're like really cleaning out all the crap, like the cobwebs in your head. Then you're better able to create. And you're also like, look at how so many of the chakras are represented in this card. You're being able to create more balance when you clear your head out. Where do I want to go? Let's go to the Crow Tarot. Let's switch over for just a moment. Tell me something about, for Pisces, this Eight of Pentacles. Because I'm feeling like there's this huge need for you to just get into this calmer space. Because it feels like you're trying to do it. But then with the Ace of Swords, I feel like you're trying to do it, but there's still a lot rumbling around up there. And so you're being called to get clear on it. And you're like, I'm trying to build it and I'm trying to do the things that are going to make me calmer. So what's going on? Six of Swords. And I think it was Aquarius that had this card, or it may have been Capricorn. They're all starting to run together. So with the Six of Swords, notice here, this can look like water, or it can even look like the currents of the wind. In the reading that I did where I mentioned this card, I talked about the Urban Crow Oracle deck, also by MJ Cullinane, where the Resistance card has these wind currents coming up against the crow. And of course, it knocks some of the feathers off. With this Six of Swords, I feel like this is you. This is your negative beliefs. So a little bit different. I think it was Aquarius. Yep, it was Aquarius. But this feels like that it's not just outside. Your negative beliefs and limiting beliefs may have come from outside to some extent, but this feels like it's you. And that's part of what you're needing to clear out. Because if you're not able to clear out those doubts, those worries, those words from the past, those emotional imprints, then it's going to be really hard to stay in this mode where you feel more calm. We're not going to be calm all the time, which makes it harder, like I said, to think through things, and it's harder to create the things that you want. So part of this is being able to let go of some of these swords. You can't fully put them down. Whatever's happened, whatever you thought, it's already there, but it's releasing the need to focus on it. Because look, there's a new beginning with these cherry blossoms coming in. And that's what you're trying to create. And it's recognizing that clearing out the clutter, when I was saying clearing out the clutter, clearing out the, did I say crap? Doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself. It doesn't mean that these feathers, like pieces of you, are just falling away. You don't have to do it. I'm seeing somebody who feels like they have to just completely change. I'm seeing like when I was a kid and we were out of school, the only things to watch on TV were like court TV shows and talk shows, especially things like that. And so I'm seeing like one of those talk shows where somebody goes on and they're having this makeover. And so, of course, it has to be this dramatic thing. And it's like this 180. It looks like almost a completely different person. And what I'm feeling with this is you're not recreating the wheel. You don't have to completely do something different in order for you to get into this calm space. It's really just making, like I'm seeing somebody just tweaking a few things, like tightening the screws just a little bit. Because like I said, you're never going to be, no one is ever going to be 100% calm all the time throughout their life. And so it's just this work right here is you coming up 11:11 with the things that work for you. Because I'm seeing somebody right now and it's like the candy stores, I don't know if they still have any, where it had, God, I feel so old now. Making all these references to things. I'm like, I don't know if they still exist. I know when I lived in London, there were the pick and mix stations, and it's kind of like that, but there's like candy, different candies and all these things, and you can like pick which ones you want. And of course, you're not using your hands. Hopefully you're using the scoop, right? Because you don't want to dirty things up. But at the same time, like you don't have to like, it doesn't have to just be yoga. It doesn't have to just be meditation. It's what you create. Maybe you do a combination of yoga and meditation, whatever it is. Maybe journaling, writing things down, you're like, I don't know that I'm actually going to make time for that. But instead, maybe you do voice recordings or video recordings that you listen to later, or you do notes in your phone or whatever it is, or you do emojis. I don't know. You draw. But doing something that fits you, not feeling like you have to do what everyone else says. But it's these negative beliefs or affirmations. But I say with affirmations, I feel like you have to at least believe it to some extent in order for it to be successful. Let's go to the Chakra Wisdom Oracle and kind of see what are these thoughts? What is it that's making you feel this resistance? What's making it feel harder to calm down, Pisces? Thought about taking that one, but it feels like, I was going to say that it wants to just flip out. All right, completion. Like I said, it's letting go of some of these things, clearing out the crap, okay? With the things from the past, like I said, with these swords, it's not that you're just releasing them, but it's that you look at them in a different way. For example, in the card. So this completion doesn't necessarily mean a literal death, and we have sacral chakra represented here. Aquarius may have had this card as well. So if you have Aquarius in your placements, or you just feel called to maybe watch that reading, it may be helpful, who knows. But sacral chakra, so our creativity, our self-worth, our passion, and even intimacy, relationships and things like that, our relationship to ourselves and our body, just embodying who we are, I feel like is part of that sacral chakra. So with this, the sun is coming up and there is a loss. And loss doesn't have to, like I said, be a physical loss, but even just a change in, like, let's say your favorite restaurant. I don't know why this idea is coming into my head. I don't think I've ever used this. Let's say that your favorite restaurant closes. And that's not a devastating thing, but at the same time, it's a change. Because maybe you could get lasagna somewhere else, but they had your favorite lasagna. Now you got to try different places. So it's not that you'll have a full-on grief, but there's a loss there. And the sun is coming up. It'll be okay. There'll be other things. You'll find other things. If it is a loss, the connection that you have is going to be different, but it doesn't mean that the memories or even the spirit of that person is not with you. And notice that here's this person and there's divine guidance for them and for the person here. There's a lot of green, there's a lot of heart chakra healing that has to happen. And it was Aquarius. The other card that came out from this deck, or one of them, was release. And the person is standing in a cemetery. The rain's coming down. They've got their hands over their ears, just devastated, scream. There are sunbeams coming through the clouds, but it's a very gray, very different image than this one. But I feel like that's important for you because I had even talked about on the headstones, there wasn't anything, but I've seen like where people will write things that they want to release on an image that has like headstones. Like, I'm going to release anger. I'm going to release those negative thoughts, whatever it is. So even when it comes to completion, the death card, the tower card, any of those things, it's not that it has to be negative, but it's about allowing yourself to release things so that new things, the sun, can come in. And knowing that sometimes when things, we let them go, it creates more room for the things that you're trying to build, the things that you want. All right, let's see if there's something else coming through from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle for you, Pisces. I feel like that let go and release and the negative thoughts has been pervasive, persistent, I don't know, throughout these reads. And so I feel like it's just important for all of us. So instinct, like I said, trust your intuition. But the thing I love about this card, and this is a crown chakra card, you've got the wolf down here. And then you've got this wolf up here that's more like a, not a mirror image, but like a reflection is the word coming into my mind. And that's not exactly what I want to say. But it's kind of like, to me, that the way you see yourself. Notice that this wolf has two heads. And it takes me to that indigenous tale of the wolf with two faces, or everyone has two. That's it. Everyone has two wolves inside of them. And the boy asks, well, which one? I can't remember the full thing, so please forgive me. But which one is dominant? And the grandpa says, the one that you feed. So this is, for me, like the wolf and then the thoughts. There we go. The thought forms, the doubts, the worries, or the thoughts that you are uplifting yourself and you feel like you can do it. And so which thought form wins? It's the one that you focus on. So what you believe, you will create. That's the self-fulfilling prophecy. What you focus on, what you believe, you will create. Whether consciously or subconsciously, you will do things that create the situation. So I'm feeling called to share the example that I used to share in the different capacity that I worked in for over 20 years and no longer work in. I would talk about, because most all of us have taken a test before, right? So if you have someone and they're saying, oh, I'm going to fail this test and no, I'm going to fail this test. I cannot pass this test. This is my worst subject. It's just not going to happen. Maybe they study, but they don't remember what they studied because they're so worried. Or they don't study because they're like, what's the point? Or they study and then they sit down for the test and their mind goes blank and they get an F and they're like, see, I failed. I knew I was going to fail. That's self-fulfilling prophecy, because maybe if they were able to get calmer, then their thoughts would be more clear so that the work that they put in would actually stick a little more. Maybe they don't get an A, but maybe they get a C or a B, right? So sometimes we get so caught up in our thoughts and we don't clear the crap out and we block ourselves from creating the things that we want to create because we feel like, oh, I can't do it. So trusting your intuition, if something feels off, it is. If something feels right, it is. But also using that discernment to know that sometimes, because of things that have happened in the past or there's negative thoughts, we're looking at it in a way where, here's this moon, we're not seeing the full picture, or those anxieties are taking over. Let's go to the Moonology Messages deck. All right, for Pisces, what is the Moonology message that is going to help kind of solidify some of this. Or what does Pisces need to hear? Is that the question? We've got way too many cards coming out. These I feel are important. These just came out because I was dropping things. But, oh, that's important. But I want to make sure that I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, so that's not important. All right, so the card on the bottom feels really important to start with, which is the past. Moon memories, the past. So we've got this pink, which reminds me of the heart chakra. So these things from the past, they're sticking with you. That's part of these thoughts. It's part of what creates that Six of Swords feeling. It's part of what creates the need for completion. Like there may be a grief or a loss feeling. But notice that if you're only looking at what's around you, you're missing out on other things. Like here, we've just got the shadows of the palm trees, which can represent growth. And there's a moon that's illuminating those. But look in the archway, there's this beach with these people. So I feel like if you're so focused on this and feeling like you miss this, you feel like you're out in the desert. This is what I'm seeing, that you feel like you're out in the desert. But this, you may not be able to recreate it, but it doesn't mean that you can't create something different. That went in a weird way. I knew what I was wanting to say and it didn't come out. So I'm not sure why, but that was weird. So yeah, if you're so focused on the past and these memories that are here in the window that you can't get to, then you feel like you don't have the things that you need around. And these shadows, it may feel like all you have are just shadows of the past, but look at the growth. And the heart chakra, I don't know, that went a weird way, but that's okay. I say heart chakra and we've got day, moon, and love. So we've got another full moon. We've actually got very similar colors. But look at all these new beginnings versus this desert. So that's what we're talking about here. The day, moon, and love. And there's actually butterflies, those transformations and things. If you're looking back at the past and you're focused only on what you feel like you've lost or didn't go well, whatever it is, then you're not seeing the beauty that may be right around you or the opportunities. You're not seeing the things that may be around you. So what you're being called to do is the falling moon, release blocks. And that's what I've been talking about this whole time. You got all these full moons here. And with the full moon, typically you're going to hear that you're going to be looking at what you want to release. And so with this, there's not a bridge. There are two different sides. I'm seeing you, though, creating the bridge, knowing that you are the bridge. You are the bridge between the past, the present, and even the future. So remembering that you're at the core here, 2311, when I looked up, that you get to decide what this looks like. And there's like an illumination even coming up off the moon, that like elevating your thoughts. I feel like that's connected with this. Look at that mist and that mist. Like you being able, and there's a moon in this one, you being able to take those past things and release them. Choose which way you're going to focus. Are you going to focus on the past? Are you going to focus on what you can do in the present moment? Releasing these negative thoughts and building something that you love, whatever that is. Or are you going to focus on the past and stay in the space that feels, again, like you don't really have anything? I think that's pretty much a full message, but we're going to go to the Priestess of Light deck and see what's the encouragement for Pisces. For Pisces, what's the encouragement? So the first one that came out is 12, which is a 3, or breaks down to a 3. Touching earth, planting something new. So again, in Aquarius's reading with the Ace of Pentacles from the Light Seers Tarot, talked a lot about planting. There were roots growing out of the pentacle. So if you have Aquarius placements, you may want to look at that. But this is like an angel touching the earth, planting something new. So this is you remembering that you, 2444, for some reason that was like standing out to me. There's like illumination here, but for some reason, even though it's not, it's a red timer at the top of my phone, but it looked like it was like, ah. So 2444, if you don't pay attention to any of the other numbers I've said, that may be one for you to pay attention to. We've got a lot of green in here, heart chakra, the pink as well. And then there's that violet and some yellow. So connecting to higher self, connecting to divine guides, God, whatever it is for you, angels, especially with that angelic presence. But touching the earth, we're getting back to, yeah, that first card, grounding. Notice he's grounded, but there's that light around him. He's connected. So getting grounded and getting connected, whatever that connection is for you. All right, and last card, 47, which breaks down to an 11, master number 11, River of Blessings, releasing constraints. I mean, if that doesn't wrap up the whole message with everything that I've been saying the last 26 minutes, it's reminding yourself that you can't change everything, you can't control everything, but you do have choices and you do get to make decisions on what way you go. And the way that you look at it definitely impacts what you get. We'll go back to the wolves real quick. If you're looking at things only through the lens of negativity, then that's what you're going to see. Our brains are wired for survival, one, but also wired to focus on what we feel is important. The example I give is, think of when you get a new car. It may not be the newest car, but you get a new car and all of a sudden that's the car you see everywhere. You're like, dang, everybody has this car. It may even be the same color. Everybody did not, or a lot of people did not go out and buy that car overnight when you did. It's just your brain said it's important. So negative thoughts, thoughts of encouragement, thoughts that you can do things, whatever you focus on, that's what you're going to believe to be true. And that is going to impact, not necessarily determine, but it's going to impact the opportunities you see, the opportunities you take, and what you feel is actually possible for you. So Pisces, I hope that reading was helpful. Again, it's very similar yet different to the Aquarius reading. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm excited anytime somebody is watching the video or commenting, or especially that the messages get where they need to go. So liking, sharing, subscribing are just ways that, if you feel called, can help the messages to get to more people. And also it definitely makes my heart happy, I'll be honest. Not in a way that it's like, oh, I've got, all these people sharing or whatever, but it's like, oh, a message reached somebody. Not that you need to know that. Interesting. But either way, thank you for being here. If you would like a private read, which is always more tuned to you because I'm tuning into your energy and more accurate to you, you can reach out to me. There's a booking link in my bio if I don't remember to put it in the description. And I have various services that are available, from short reads that are written or pre-recorded all the way to full face-to-face live sessions, 45 and 60 minutes for the tarot reads and the Reiki. I also do mediumship. All right. I think that's it. I'm very excited that I am wrapping up the April reads. I hope to see you in May, and thank you again. Bye.